going to some crazy islands where Papillon was imprisoned. Holy, that guy just jumped up and scared the hell out of me. Pretty glassy. Hard to believe these were once a prison colony. It's really unbelievable that a paradise like this was a prison colony for 100 years. That's one island over there. There's another one here. I just like this, like, for sure these old steps were laid by the hands of prisoners doing hard time, sent here from France just to kind of get them out of the way and doing time here until most of them died. What a crazy time that is. The prison. One of them. Holy man. Nature does an amazing job of just being like, nope, that's mine. Look at this tree that just like took over this doorway. Look how big this thing is. And then it's just got like roots that are just coming out of the doorway. Like that goes like 60 feet. And then the other one that goes this direction, just like around this corner. Let's go see what's over here. It just keeps on moving. Wow. Wow. Cells. Just like all these trees growing in the corners of cells and all these vines hanging down everywhere. Really surreal. If you haven't read the book Papillon, you should. It's all about this. It's one of the most interesting books I read. Maybe you've seen the movie. It came out a few years ago, but it was nothing compared to what the book was like. And he talked about being in like solitary confinement for years, and he talks about being in one of these cells. And I remember he was describing how the cells had not been opened. He'd been inside of the cell for like something like 5 or 4 years without ever having the door open once. And then they got a new warden and things changed, and they give those guys a little bit of exercise after. But can you imagine spending 4 or 5 years never exiting something like that? It's wild. Cutter ants. I love these guys. Serious engineers. Look, there must be guys just cutting leaves and just dropping them here, and then other ants are coming and just picking them up because there's a pile there, then they're all carrying them away. Incredible. That was a lot of work for someone. That path runs for a long ways. They said that the waters were heavily shark infested at that time. Who knows for sure, maybe that was a really good scare tactic. But I remember reading in the book about when people would die in the prison, they just take them in a boat out to the water here and throw them over, and within a very short amount of time the sharks would devour those bodies. Look at all those palms coming down and all those fallen coconuts. So I guess not everyone was fed to the sharks. Or maybe these were guards. These are some Very forgotten people. There is a beach here though. Get little pools here. The water, I was just out there, I had my hands in the water. It's like a bathtub. You can't even cool down here. Wild. What I find really neat is that there's nobody here. It's yours. And so there's a walking path that goes around the island that's a little bit groomed, but if you come up here to like around the prisons, you're just walking on the grass, and the grass isn't wore down anywhere from foot traffic. It's really, really neat how it's like really untouched. Look at this thing. Holy wow! I can leave, don't worry. That's Devil's Island over there. That's the island where Papillon was actually at. But they're all really close together. You can see the palm trees in the one I'm on versus that island right over there. Look at this collection of characters. This is where all the guards and their families lived, in these little places. There was 2 families per building, so there'd be one there and one there. Tough being a guard's wife, and you're like, God, I gotta live on this island too. Holy man. This is the sentenced to death convicts area. Probably some pretty awful energy in these walls. Look at these little guys. Hey fellas. So it's really true that most of the convicts were just dumped in the sea when they died. This is a cemetery. It's mostly for the children of the guards. That's kind of what's in here. There's 47 graves of children in here. Grim. So these are the 3 islands. That's the first island where I was at earlier today, where I was looking at all the ruins. And then this is your main island here. And that's Devil's Island over there. This is the main island. This is, I think it's Isla Royale. I don't have my names down very well. This is basically the nucleus of the penal colony, where everything kind of went through. This was the headquarters. And that over there was where the rougher convicts went. That was where like Papillon was at. You can't actually get to that island today. They say that the water's too rough, so they don't take boats across to it anymore. So I'm sure you can get there if you know the right people. But it's pretty fascinating that there's no one here, and you just have all this crazy free range to just kind of check out this place. There's nowhere, like the paths are, you can walk past areas, the grass is like still growing, foot traffic hasn't been bothering it. For such a very famous touristy area, there's no one around. This is the convict pool at Royal Island that would have been built by them. Devil Island in the background. So Little troublemakers here. Hey. You want to go, or can I come through? Your call. Me? All right. You take it easy, buddy.